Number 5, follow the frame. It's the only picture I could find, but the thing that came to mind for me was, if I don't know how many of you have been to Bali, but when you go to Bali, every brand has been replicated, and you get, Billabong is Ballabong, and it's just a play on words. Now, obviously, it was just to frame the idea, but really what we're talking about is piggybacking off trends and marketing that already works. And I call it follow the frame because all of you know that when we talk about Facebook ads, most of the changes that we do is changing the frame. Like, what is the conversation going on in people's minds, and adapting your message to that. Kevin, if you'd love to give some examples of how you've modeled this approach.
Okay, so you look at other businesses' marketing campaigns and the current flavour, and I'm talking big businesses like your supermarkets, your suppliers. McDonald's is a good one. What is the framework they're working within? What messages are they coming through? What's the trend with the kids, the adults, the now thing? And when you do your marketing, you feed off the back of that design and keep with the current trend, because you get left behind. A lot of people get confused with martial arts. They either think you're the next UFC candidate, or they're going to have to be, or you a movie star. Karate Kid's good, Cobra Kai, and all that. So there's themes that resonate that could be reflective of your martial arts, so you can utilise some of those. But I just sort of look at what's happening, the words and what's happening, and you just produce your content with your marketing around that, and you follow the theme and you follow that frame that's going along. So they might have I've seen watch or listen, or you see ads come through on your feed, and you go, well, what's the content? Well, who are they approaching? How are they approaching it? And you just jump on the back of that. Well, 12 responses on my friend's email. Cool.
Love it.
Yeah. That's one thing. That's one aspect of following the frame. And you can piggyback along behind the marketing campaign and offer something that's attractive in the same vein as him. Like in Australia, we have AFL, which is like the Australian Football League. Some people may follow it, but they have a really good grassroots marketing campaign. And same with Rugby Tots program, some of you, and that's really good. And you just listen to their ad and you have a look what they put up. And then Aussie kids are Weet-Bix kids, okay? Aussie kids are Karate Kids. I've used that one, okay? Because that's exactly what you say. So for those that don't know, Weet-Bix is packaged up like breakfast cereal thing, which I had some this morning actually. But just a little catchphrases and things that are now and common. And do you remember a thing called Fortnite, a hideous game kids all played? There's little sayings and that. We incorporated that into our advertising, and it tweaked with the parents and the kids. And so I like to be up with what's happening, but I also like to be a bit of a trendsetter myself. So I like to, keep in front of it and keep it going, So it's just interesting to see the dynamic of how this works, because, you do it on purpose.
What's actually very interesting on things like Facebook, that the algorithms actually pick up when you are relating a conversation about something, and it will start showing something related to that person. And so what I mean by that is, it's just because it's the example that's up, I'll use it. But let's say people are fans of Weet-Bix, right? Or fans of Fortnite, right? And you go use that terminology in your ads. The algorithm is going to pick up that you're using words, and it's going to know who the people are that pay attention to those words. And it's actually going to filter, and it's actually going to place your ads in front of those people.
Well, you can actually create a lookalike audience if you use the same terminology, and then you put the filter on, create a lookalike audience, and then you can target those, which, George, that's your department, all about that sort of stuff. And it works really well. So retargeting back to people who are interested. And you'll be surprised that you just got to keep tweaking your ads and your information all the time to be in line with that. The other ones are in piggybacking on or follow the frame. Any events that, we've got a whole demonstration at the county fair, the local markets, all that sort of stuff. It still gets people. I mean, it's just, you just got to pick and choose. You might have schools have fundraising days and all that. You just got to find out. So your lovely lady on the front desk usually rings you up and tells you, hey, the school's having its annual fair, and you guys come and do a stall and a demonstration. Yeah, sure, just book us in. That's why it's important, that relationship back to the school. They invite you to come, put up a little stall and do a little demo and give out some flyers, and it just keeps on going.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to add to this. It's funny, in the internet marketing space, it became a trend that when Tony Robbins would have a launch of a new product, and all the internet marketers would go launch their product on that same day. And you'd think it's counterintuitive, right? Because you'd think, well, hang on, everyone's paying attention to the big man, Tony Robbins. But everyone's becoming into the same buying mode of the launch. And so now you're piggybacking off this big campaign because everyone's launching and everyone's buying. It's kind of like the same philosophy with Black Friday and anything else that's like an event. But if you had to think right now, and I just want to ask you, do you know, is there anything in your area right now, locally, that that's going on, that there's a potential piggyback? Maybe there's a fete or fair or something happening locally. You can get involved, great. You can't, but what can you host on that day that potentially goes with the trend? Obviously, if it's big enough and there's enough going on. Just curious if there's any ideas that are coming up. Lots of elections. Well, I don't know about that. I haven't found that angle. But if something comes to mind, just curious, because it would add to the value of the conversation. Yeah. Anything that's going on, could be sport, could be anything else. And then the other thing we always talk about, obviously, is keeping things on, what is happening. Is it Valentine's Day? Is it XYZ? Like the class student sensei for the month. Vote yes for martial arts. Well, there we go. You got it. There we go. That's hijacking the elections, right? All right. Excellent.